Hello and welcome to Yoga for Ankles and Balance. To begin, start in a comfortable standing position with your feet hips-width distance apart. Roll your shoulders back and down away from your ears, and then start to close your eyes. In this class, we'll be training our ankle joints by mobilizing and strengthening them. We'll also be working on our balance and increasing our sense of proprioception, which is the understanding of where our body is in space in any given moment. So start to notice your feet pressing into the ground. And moving at your own rhythm, real slowly start to shift your weight back into your heels. Notice your toes might lift off the ground. And then ground your toes and start to shift your weight forward into your ball mounds and toes. Notice all these micro movements happening in your feet and ankles, keeping you upright and balanced here. Then we'll repeat. Start to shift your weight back into your heels. Notice your core slightly engage. Then start to shift forward once again into your toes and ball mounds. Do that one more time, moving at your own pace. Maybe even challenging yourself a little bit and going past what you think your limits are. Nice. Then open your eyes and lift your right foot off the ground, drawing your knee into your chest. We'll just begin with some ankle rolls in the right foot. Start in one direction for another 3, 2, 1. And then switch directions, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your right foot down. Standing in your right leg, draw your left knee up and into your chest. And begin with ankle rolls. 5 times in this direction. Notice if you can use the entire range of motion here, exploring whatever sensations arrive in your ankles. Nice. Switch directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place your left foot back down. Cool. Now our next exercise are going to be ankle jumps. For these, we're going to try to keep our legs as straight as possible and only use the calf muscles. Swing your arms for momentum and let's begin. Start hopping up, again, trying to only use your lower legs here, keeping your knees as straight as possible. Nice work. Let's continue building some heat in the body for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. All right, now stretching the tops of your ankles. Place your right foot on the ground slightly behind you, pressing the top of your foot towards the ground. As best as you can, energetically guide that ankle crease on the top of your ankle into the ground, as to bring some length between your right knee and your right toes. Take a breath in, and exhale, release, other side. Place the left foot down behind you. Bend your knees here to give yourself a little more weight into your left foot. Really stretching out the top of your foot and ankle here. This is a really great preparation pose to be able to sit on your heels comfortably without your ankles screaming at you. Nice. Let's release. Come back to standing and then place your feet as wide as your mat with your toes pointing outwards, about at a 45-degree angle. Now keep your heels on the ground here as we move into a squat. Bring your hands to the ground. Now squat as low as you can without your heels lifting off the ground. If you can sink all the way down into a full deep squat, awesome. But if your heels start to lift as you do so, then lift up a little bit. So what we're doing here is trying to experiment with our body and see what our mobility capacity is, let's say. So keep your hands on the ground for balance and lower your seat as much as you can. If you're not even as low as me in the video here, totally fine. We're just experimenting with our own bodies. Nice. Then we'll step back into tabletop position. And giving our lower body some rest, let's start to focus on our spinal column. With an inhale, open your chest by dropping your belly and looking forward. Exhale to lift the upper back, spread your shoulder blades nice and wide. Nice. 2 more like this. Inhale to drop the belly, look forward. Think about pulling your chest between your biceps. Exhale, lift the upper back, spread your shoulder blades wide, draw your chin to chest. Inhale, open the front of your torso, extending your spine. Exhale, lift your upper back, chin to chest. Good. Come back to neutral tabletop and let's balance. Extend your left leg back and reach your right hand forward. You might feel wobbly at first, but you'll get better in time. Good. Now squeezing it in, draw your elbow and your knee together. With an inhale, re-extend your arm and leg. Exhale, elbow to knee. Engage at the front of your core. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Nice job. Inhale, re-extend, reach long. Exhale, back in a tabletop. Other side. Reach your right leg back and your left arm forward. Inhale. And exhale, elbow to knee. Pull your upper back to the ceiling. Inhale, re-extend, get nice and long. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more time. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, back into tabletop. From tabletop, tuck your toes under. And let's move into down dog. With a big inhale, send your hips up and back. And press your chest towards your thighs. Keep a deep bend in your knees, especially at the beginning here. And although you're energetically pressing your heels into the ground, it's totally normal if they're not touching the ground just yet. Think about lengthening your upper body, creating a straight line from your hands up to your tailbone. So like I said, the knees can absolutely be bent here. Now let's start to pedal out the feet to stretch out the hamstrings. You'll do that by bending one knee and pressing your opposite heel into the ground, straightening the opposite leg, and then switch sides. Good. Keep going. Keep switching sides. Just stretch out the backs of your legs. While you're here, start to notice your breath. Notice if you're holding it, and try to deepen it, creating more fluid rhythm. Good. Now back into neutral down dog. From down dog, start to tiptoe your feet up towards your hands at the top of your mat. We're going to introduce a new pose today called chair pose. For chair pose, bring your feet hips-width distance apart, outer edges of the feet parallel, then bend your knees, sink your hips, and reach your arms overhead. You can really imagine that you're about to take a seat in a chair. Lift your toes off the ground. Make sure you're shifting your weight into your heels, and when you look down, make sure you can see your toes. Arms reach up and palms face one another as if you're holding a ball. Good. Ground into your right foot. Lift your left foot off the ground. With control, step your left foot towards the back of your mat. Then tap your left knee down, untuck your toes, coming into low lunge. Lower your hands to the ground. Start to sink your hips, letting your right knee reach forward over the top of your right ankle. So when you look down at your right toes, try to bring your right knee to pass your right toes so all you see is your knee. Keep your heel on the ground the entire time. So we're training our mobility here, our ability to flex the ankle. Nice. Keep going, sinking the hips into the ground, letting your knee go over your toes. Nice. Breathe deeply, and let's stay here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now shift your hips back until your right knee stacks your ankle And we're going to practice lifting the outer edge of the right foot off the ground while keeping the inner ball mound and heel grounded. So lift for 5, 4, it's real subtle here, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now we'll come back into chair pose the same way we entered. Reach your arms overhead, tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee off the ground for a high lunge. Reach forward and with control, lift your left foot and tap it forward down on the ground back into chair pose. Nice. Rise to standing and shake out your legs. Good. Other side, feet hips width distance apart. With an inhale, chair pose, arms overhead. As you exhale, ground into your left foot. Start to lift your right foot off the ground and with control, step your right foot down behind you. Take your time, tap your right knee down, untuck your toes, and lower your hands to frame your left foot. Sink your hips as you move your left knee to go past your toes, flexing your left ankle here, moving our foot into dorsiflexion. See how far you can go without letting your heel lift off the ground. Keep it grounded here. So you're pressing the entire sole of your foot into the ground as you shift your knee and your hips forward. Breathe deeply and hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shift your hips back so your left knee stacks your left ankle. Moving on to the strength exercise, lifting the outer edge of the left foot off the ground, keeping the left ball mounds grounded. And let's begin. Lift for 5, 4, 3, just the outer edge of the foot, 2, last one, and release. Getting ready for chair, tuck your right toes under, reach your arms overhead and lift your right knee off the ground. Reach forward and with control, make your way back into chair, hovering your right foot, finding balance along the way. Arms overhead, and then release, rise to standing. Shake out your legs once again. Good, then ground your feet and sink back into chair pose, maybe even a little lower than before. Ground into your right foot and balance your left foot off the ground. Slowly step the left foot back, this time coming into warrior 1. You'll ground the left heel with your toes pointing outward at about a 45-degree angle. Your arms reach overhead like in high lunge, and your hips are squared towards the front of the mat like in high lunge. Just like last class, we'll practice closing the eyes. Notice all the micro movements in the feet, the ankles, the legs to keep you balanced here. Nice. Then open your eyes, lean forward and make your way back in a chair pose, keeping your right knee bent along the way. Rise to standing and shake out your legs, taking a moment's rest. And now for the other side, come back into chair pose, ground into your left foot, hover your right foot off the ground, and with control, step your right foot back, right into warrior 1, spiraling your heel down with your right toes pointing outward at a 45-degree angle. Left knee stacked over your left ankle, hips are squared towards the front of your mat, arms are reaching overhead just like in high lunge. When you're ready, start to close your eyes. Find the stability in your stance here. Engage your core by drawing your navel up and into your spine. Good, then open your eyes, lean forward and hover back into chair pose. Taking rest, rise to stand, release your arms and shake it out. Place your feet back down, hips width distance. Once again, chair pose. And sink back down into your chair. Ground into your right foot. Step your left foot back, coming into warrior 1 once again. Now this time, lean your upper body forward, balancing on your right leg. Come into warrior 3, just like we practiced in last class, and then come towards standing. Tree pose, Place the left sole of your foot against your right inner thigh, ankle, or calf. Now this time we're going to introduce a different pose. Cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee and take chair pose in your right leg, coming into figure 4 squat. Hands come together in front of your chest and try to sink your hips low. The lower you sink your hips, the more of a stretch you're going to get through your outer left hip and glutes. Find your control, find your balance, and breathe. And slowly release, rise to standing. Nice work. Shake out your legs, shake out your arms. Especially shaking out your right leg here. All right, come back to standing and chair pose. Sink your hips low, reach your arms tall. With control, step your right foot back, coming right into warrior 1. Ground your right heel, just like we practiced before. Then lean your upper body forward and start to rise to standing, keeping your balance, pausing in warrior 3 on your way, and then take a moment in tree pose, right sole of the foot along your left leg somewhere. And then we'll come into figure 4 squat. You can use your hands to place your right ankle over the top of your left knee. Bend your left knee like you're coming into squat, just like in chair pose. Hands together in front of your chest. Look forward at something ahead of you that isn't moving to help your balance. Keep your right foot flexed here really well to keep your right knee protected. The deeper you sink into this squat, the more of a stretch you'll receive through your right hip. Deep breath in. And exhale, release back to standing. Shake out your left leg. Nice job here. From here, step your feet as wide as your mat and sink into your yogi squat. Now we practiced this the last 2 classes, but this time we're going to progress into another balance pose. For crow pose, place your hands down a little wider than your shoulders, about as wide as your hands. You want to work your inner knees towards your triceps. Spread your fingers really well as this will be your foundation. Lift onto your toes, look forward, squeeze your knees into your arms, and then slowly start to shift your weight forward into your hands. Maybe one foot lifts off the ground, maybe the other. Let your upper arms act like a shelf for your legs. The hips should stay low here for crow. Good. If you fall out of it, you can always just try again. Another few moments to practice. And then release. Tap your feet back down and come back into your squat. Roll out your wrists. And then straighten your legs. Coming into ragdoll pose, grab a hold of opposite elbows. Let your torso sway a little side to side to release your low back and to let your legs relax. You might bounce up and down a little bit here. Might feel really nice for your neck if you've relaxed it all the way. Then bounce a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. And then come back to center. Release your hands to the ground. Step back into down dog. Take a nice big deep breath in. Press your heels into the ground. As you exhale, start to pedal at the feet one last time. Notice if there's any improvement since the first time we did this at the beginning of class. All right, now lower your knees to the ground, untuck your toes, bring the tops of your feet to the ground. Start to walk your hands back slowly but surely, lowering your seat onto your heels. Now, if you have the mobility and it feels totally fine on your ankles, then take a seat completely on your feet so that we start to give the tops of the ankles a nice deep stretch. Now, taking it one step further than last class, place your hands down and begin to lift your right knee off the ground to deepen the plantar flexion in the right ankle. Hold it and lift your knee as high as is comfortable for you. And gently release. Other side. Begin to peel the left knee and shin off the ground. Go as far as you can. Don't worry about being as far as I am in the video. Just do what feels right in your body. Good. Slowly release. From here, we'll come into child's pose. Simply walk your hands forward. Let your belly rest on your thighs and your forehead come down towards the ground. Take a few moments here to let the body soften, let the shoulders relax, the hips relax, and continue to feel that gentle stretch through your ankles. You can always use that technique to roll up the back of your mat if this is too intense for your ankles here. You can do it halfway up your mat, or you can even roll up your entire mat depending on how much support you need. Place your ankles on top of that rolled up portion, so your toes should be hanging off the edge. This is going to be super supportive here. And when your mat is ready, make your way back into child's pose. We're going to use this pose to relax a little bit. So just take the next few moments to observe your breath. As you inhale, imagine filling up the back of your lungs. As you exhale, imagine your body sinking a little deeper into the ground. Letting go of little bits of tension somewhere in your body. And slowly start to lift yourself back up into tabletop position. Unroll your mat if you've rolled it. And then swing your legs forward out in front of you, coming into a seat on your butt. Then lower down onto your back. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee and flex your right foot. That's going to help keep your right knee safe. And then interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. If that's enough, stay there. If you want to go deeper, then grab a hold of your left shin bone or the bottom of your left knee and pull your left knee closer into your chest to deepen the stretch in your hips. Well, your right outer hip, that is. And while you're here, breathe. Inhale, fill up the body with space. Exhale, let your body sink into the ground as you actively release tension. Keep breathing like that, about 2 more times. I lied, 3 more times. All right, release, uncross your legs, and switch. Cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee. Flex your left foot and keep it flexed the whole time. Grab the back of your right thigh or your right shin and pull your left knee into your chest as far as you can. Keep your entire upper body grounded here. Stay relaxed in your shoulders and your neck. And let's breathe. 5 deep breaths in this pose, filling up your lungs to their entire capacity and slowing down your exhales so that they last slightly longer than your inhales. That is one little trick to calming your nervous system and giving your nervous system a fast track into your parasympathetic or rest and digest nervous system. Slowly release. Draw your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long. Moving into a twist, cross your right knee over your body. Extend your right arm out over to the right and look towards your right hand. Same thing as in this reclined pigeon pose. Every inhale, imagine your body filling up with space. And every exhale, imagine your body sinking deeper into the ground. Letting go of some bits of tension in your body with every exhale. And trying to get those exhales to last slightly longer than your inhales. Roll back over onto your back. And let's switch sides. Draw your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg long. Then cross your left knee over your body. Reach your left arm out over to the left and look over to your left hand. If your shoulder and knee don't make it all the way to the ground here, that's totally fine. You're still getting a spinal twist. And if you're lucky, a little bit of a hip stretch as well. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly unravel. Draw both knees into your chest. Roll yourself up into the tiniest little ball. And then extend your legs long. Coming into our final pose here, release your hands to either side of you with their palms facing up. Final tension exercise, start to squeeze every muscle in your body, everything super tense from head to toe, and hold for another 3, 2, 1, and let go. Let the entire body relax here. Come to your most natural rhythm of breath, taking no more control of anything. It's time to let go of all the effort we had put forth during our practice. And for the next few minutes, let our bodies completely and entirely rest. Shavasana. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into your body. Invite gentle movements back into your hands and feet. Then you might start to roll out your wrists and ankles. Rock your head a little side to side. Then in time, reach your arms overhead, point your toes, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bend your knees and roll over to the side. Keeping your eyes closed, press up into a comfortable seated position. Take your time to get here, no rush. And once you arrive, sit up tall, place your hands on your thighs, and just take a moment to notice how your body feels now at the very end of class. Training balance, working on strengthening and mobilizing the ankles. And connect your palms at the center of your chest and thank yourself for showing up today. Amazing work, and I look forward to seeing you back on your mat very soon.